So in the invention of lying, you have Ricky Gervais as a screenwriter in a world where nobody lies. They don't know how to lie, and further than that, they speak what's on their mind. So they have no filters, and he's invents lying. That's the premise for I thought a pretty entertaining romantic comedy. You have Ricky Gervais in the lead, who I don't know something about him I never really liked, but here I finally understood why people like him. You have Jennifer Garner, Rob Lowe, and the brilliant Louis C.K. If you haven't seen this guy do stand up, or if you haven't seen his new show on FX, which I might actually talk about on this channel, check out Louis C.K. He's awesome. And you have lots and lots of cameos. Um, I don't want to ruin them because I think you should see this. But I would say it's like the most cameo heavy movie I've seen since maybe Jay and Silent Bob. Lots of big people that you're going to recognize. Um, so, basically what it is he lives in this alternate universe where people don't lie. And he falls in love with a girl. I'll spoil a little bit of the plot. Basically, like his grandma's dying at some point. Let's just say he gets in certain situations where he decides to not tell the truth. And it's cool how they say it in the movie because he's like, I said something that wasn't. Because that obviously in this world they wouldn't have the word truth or lie because there's no such thing. Everything is taken at face value, which makes for some pretty good comedy. It's not like this movie's not laugh out loud comedy. It's it's clever and it's something. It's the kind of comedy I think where the more you watch it, the funnier it gets, and the more there's little things everywhere. Like especially on signage in the background, there's little things that are fun, such as there's a new nursing home. It's like a sad place for old people, or wait, a place for old hopeless people. I think they call it shit like that. Or like there's a bus with a Pepsi ad on the side of it. And it says Pepsi when they don't serve Coke, which that actually got a laugh out of me because it's true. But, the premise fun. The movie is fun, but there's big holes in the premise. I think. I don't think that there could be an alternate universe where lying wasn't invented or didn't exist because just lying is part of human nature. And if you think about it, a lot of society is predicated on lies. The movie thinks about that too, but it's just like, then how could it not exist? Um, and if there were, like, let's say there is a world where there is no lying, it would be wildly different than ours. It wouldn't just be like ours without lying. I mean, there might not be fucking skyscrapers or trains or planes in this fucking world because you need lies. That's what I think, anyways. Like there wouldn't even be branding. There wouldn't be Coke or Pepsi. It would just be like Cola A, Cola B, because branding in itself is a lie. Um, I guess I don't know. Maybe there's an argument to be made otherwise, and that's really just me nitpicking and kind of resisting what is really an original premise. And if you accept it as like a fable, if you accept the world and what it's going for, then who cares? It's a logical gap that you're gonna have to cover. um, and then besides that, on like a much more basic like pedestrian level, it's hard for me to buy. First of all, to buy Ricky Gervais and Jennifer Garner as a couple, it just doesn't fit. And just like a lot of romantic comedies, he's into her right away, or like he's the girl that he loves, or she's the girl that he loves, and you're kind of confused as to why. It's just like, oh, because it's a movie, because he likes her. I mean, she's very shallow in it, and I get that it's like that's the problem with people that live in this world is that's how they act. And she's like, don't get me wrong, Jennifer Garner is good in it, and she's entertaining. I like her in the role. I'm just saying I don't get why Jenny or Ricky Gervais likes her because honestly, she's kind of like a bitch to him. She is a bitch to him. Um, and he just continues to love her. There's no real reason given. I mean, again, that's just probably me being a grumpy old man, um, but really, what I think this didn't get good ratings from critics. And I also heard some critics say like, "Oh, the first 30 minutes are funny, but then it goes into like all this religion and stuff, and it's not funny." I thought it was evenly funny throughout. I think that, like I said, it's clever, but the more times you watch it, probably funnier. I think what really rubbed a lot of critics wrong and a lot of maybe moviegoers wrong is it attacks religion as a whole. Not your religion, all religions. And I like that. And let's be honest, religion is made by man. I'm not saying that there isn't a God. I'm saying nobody fucking knows if there is. That's a fact. You can take that to the fucking bank, Jack. So, and that's what the movie basically says. So, it's going to offend people because it adds religion into the pile of bullshit, but I'm sorry, religion is bullshit. I'm not like, oh, religion is bad. It's just bullshit. Um, so yeah, I'm sure people had like a knee jerk reaction to that. It hits people in their home. But and I guess a lot of critics, like, there's most people out there are religious in some way. But I think critics should have embraced this movie because it's what they always ask for in a comedy: brains. It's smart. It's smart, and it's not laugh out loud funny, but it is funny. Um, some might say it doesn't really have the laughs, but I liked it. Um, it also got me more emotionally involved than Hot Tub Time Machine, which is another like recent movie that occasionally aimed for the heart. This one did it for me. Like, there's some parts I was like, I was completely engaged. And as for what it says about religion, I don't think it's entirely negative. It's the movie's saying that we need stories, we need bullshit, fiction, including religious stories, to make us happy and to help understand who we are as human beings. And I think it says that with a certain optimism, as if bullshit isn't totally a bad thing, which is original. That's more brains than you're gonna get it out of a romantic comedy. Like the Rotten Tomatoes. Let me pull up the Rotten Tomatoes here. Rotten Tomatoes consensus is 58%, which is a rotten rating. It says the consensus, it doesn't quite follow through on its promise. I think it generally does. It's not. It's not. This movie doesn't totally hit it out of the park, but it's fun and it's smart. And it says it relies too heavily on shop-worn romantic tropes. Yes, it does fall into the romantic comedy, beats. It hits the beats. That's one thing that did bug me about it a little bit, but it won me over. So what can I say? If a romantic comedy lets you root for the characters, whatever. It says, but the invention of lying is uncommonly sly and funny. So I don't know. Critics are against sly and funny romantic comedies. I guess if you're formulaic at all and you pick on a religion, then the movie's a piece of shit. But I don't think so. I like this movie. Really, I was really surprised by it. This is another one I wasn't looking forward to. I was putting it off. I kept putting it off, and I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't know about all the cameos. I didn't know the intellectual places it tried to go with the plot. So even though there's major flaws with the plot, and it is still just a romantic comedy, it was a fun romantic comedy. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. So thanks for watching again, guys.